He's back.
Hello and welcome to the Cavern of Terror.
Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers stars Ellie Cornell, Danielle Harris, Donald Pleasance, and is directed by Dwight H. Little. Damn, you lay down to take a nap and you don't wake up for a month. Oh well. We made it, guys. It's time for part 4. Michael Myers is back, and this time he's after his niece, Jamie Loyd. Halloween 4 starts out guns blazing. Well, not really. That's actually the next movie. What I'm trying to say is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, comes out the gate full of atmosphere. It fills the screen with Haddonfield in full-on fall. I might be fairly new to this series, but I have to say, that's how you start a Halloween film. I think the thing that I like the most about this opening scene is that there's absolutely no music. It's ominous as hell, and it's an immensely creepy way to start out this movie. On top of that, we get a trip to a sanitarium at night in the rain. Come on, guys, if you weren't hooked already, you have to be now. In all honesty, I can't really do a review of this film without talking about the atmosphere. We did switch cinematographers here with Dean Cundy, who did the previous 3 installments, stepping down and Peter Collister taking over the reins. But I assure you guys, Peter Collister did not drop the ball. We have very well lit dark rooms in the aforementioned fall vibe. Going back to the lighting, it's particularly great in the second act, which takes place mostly in Sheriff Meeker's house. Kind of moving on from the cinematography, let's talk about the most debated thing in this film, and that would have to be the mask of Michael Myers. Even though this is technically still the same mold from Halloween and Halloween 2, it can't help but look different. The paint that they used is not the same paint that they used before, and it adds a matted texture which makes the mask look completely different. But I have to say, during the second act, which mostly takes place in a dark house, the mask is beautifully lit. One shot in particular is spot on with the OG Halloween. Unfortunately though, it lacks any kind of style during the daylight scenes, which makes me wonder why the mask really needed to be even shown in the daylight at all. I don't know, it may just be me, but I think seeing the mask during the daylight time could have been easily avoided. Kind of like the blonde-haired Myers mask. Throw a little trick editing on there and that weird mask is gone. But at this point, I'm just nitpicking. This production to me definitely feels bigger than the previous 3 films. And it should. The budgets for 2 and 3 were $2.5 million, half of the $5 million budget for Return of Michael Myers. Trust me, the money was well used other than that pesky mask issue. Haddonfield breathes for me in this one. And it's more than the atmosphere here that does it for me. They bring in the townsfolk and friends of Rachel and Brady. This goes hand in hand with the larger production. Okay, I want to put a little bit of extra emphasis on this next point because I admittedly think it might be a controversial opinion. Rachel Carruthers is a fantastic replacement for Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode. She's everything that I like in a final girl, and she's what this series deserves. She's full of character, and there's a clear separation between her, Strode, and even Ellie Grimbridge from Halloween 3. Seriously guys, had this series not jumped the shark like it certainly does in Halloween 5, we'll definitely talk about that. I personally think that she could have been an even bigger series standout than she already is. Child actors, for the most part, usually make or break films. Fortunately for us, Danielle Harris is a standout. She delivers an incredible performance. This is probably one of my favorite child actor performances ever. Look out, Loomis, because we got another badass on our hands, Sheriff Meeker. I'm not taking anything away from Donald Pleasance, who once again knocks it out of the park with a heartfelt performance as Dr. Loomis. But Beau Starr exudes confidence as the new Haddonfield Sheriff. He's the man with the plan, and you're definitely gonna get his shotgun if you mess with his daughter Kelly. Speaking of Kelly, what the hell, Dwight H. Little? Kelly Meeker is the biggest tease in the history of this review channel. Now, come to think of it, she could possibly be the biggest tease in the entire Halloween franchise. But in all seriousness, guys, all the main characters are well fleshed out. or as well as we can get for a slasher flick. Are they as good as the characters from Season of the Witch? That's up for debate, but they are definitely head and shoulders better than the characters that we got in Halloween 2, 1981. Not Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Those characters are awesome. Minus Loomis, because he's dead. But anyway, one of my favorite sequences during this film has to be when Jamie and Rachel are separated during trick-or-treating. Now, I know this sequence is broken up over several different scenes, but this is probably the closest to the 78 original that we're gonna get. It ratchets up the tension to the max, culminating in multiple Michaels. That shit was intense. Another sequence that I cannot not talk about that I personally loved had to be Brady's confrontation with Myers. Guys, this was just awesome. We all know what happens. I mean, his fate was pretty much sealed. With that being said, I think this is our perfect segue to our resident Halloween specialist, Lee from Drum Dums. If you're new to my channel and this is your first movie review from me, I've been having Lee from Drum Dums guest on my Halloween reviews. He'll also guest on the reviews following this one, 5, 6, H2O, and Resurrection. Take it away, Lee.
What's up, guys? My name is Lee. I'm from Drum Dums, and first off, I want to thank Zach. I know you guys are enjoying his Halloween franchise reviews, and I have been on his previous ones, and I'm on this one again, and hopefully on future ones. Thank you so much for having me on this. Getting to tell my thoughts on like a particular scene and maybe a little bit about my experience with the movie. But this is a big day because it's Halloween 4. Halloween 4 is the movie that got me like into the series, that really made me the obsessed fan that I am to this franchise. I remember seeing this on opening night in the theater back in '88. Myers was out of the picture, and this was huge. This was the return of Michael Myers. Halloween 3 did not have Myers in it, and it was a huge bomb. So everybody was wanting this movie to deliver, and of course it was a huge hit. It was #1 at the box office for a couple weeks, and it was just a great movie. The scene that I really love in this movie is the rooftop scene, and getting to the rooftop scene is awesome. You have this standoff in the house. Brady is the only thing between Myers and Jamie and Rachel, and Myers swiftly handles Brady. So Rachel is, her and Jamie are on the run for their life, and they end up on top of this roof, and it's freezing outside, and at night a roof can be pretty damn slippery. Even without Myers on that roof, they're up shit creek without a paddle. It's pretty damn scary. And Rachel is sliding all over the place, Jamie's sliding all over the place, and then what do we see coming up on the ridge? Myers. Then it's really like, oh shit time. And I just love that scene, the atmosphere of that scene, how intense it was. Even the whole movie was so intense, They didn't this was not like a horror comedy. This was really, really serious. Myers was back in a big way. And then of course you have that, the big finale at the end with Loomis coming up the stairs, thinking the whole thing's over with. And then it's Jamie at the top of the stairs, in the clown suit, covered in blood. Oh my God, that scene is just insane. I got chill bumps right now just thinking about it. But yeah, that's my experience with Halloween 4. I freaking love this movie. Thank you so much, Zach, for asking me to talk about my experience with this movie, talk about one of my favorite scenes. Really enjoyed it. So, back to you, Zach.
My thoughts exactly, man. Lee, you're the man. Thank you for being on these reviews with me. I can't wait to hear what you have to say for the rest of the series. Moving on to the score, Alan Holworth surprisingly let me down. After what we got from Carpenter and Holworth in Season of the Witch, I really wasn't expecting a rehash of the 1 and 2 theme. That's sadly what we got. Unfortunately, the score just didn't land with me this time around. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's lazy, but compared to Part 3, it really doesn't measure up. As far as handling Michael goes, I think they did a pretty okay job. But Michael kind of had a habit of just randomly appearing in scenes in not a realistic way, more of a plot-holy way. Yeah, there are quite a few moments where he just kind of appears with no real explanation as to how he got there. It must be that editing magic. I will say though that George P. Wilbur does a great job at standing out from the previous 2 incarnations of Big Mike. He doesn't really do a whole lot of walking in Halloween 4, but damn is he vicious. I'm talking tossing people around, bashing in skulls, and snapping people's necks with his own bare hands. I never thought that I would be able to work this into a review until today, but in the words of Braun Strowman, you're gonna get these hands. In the end, guys, I'm definitely gonna have to give Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, a metal claw. Halloween 4 in a lot of ways was make it or break it for the series, and lucky for us, they made it. The course was corrected without feeling forced. We got an impeccable cast with not one, not two, but 3 amazing leads. Lastly, with the pros, Myers returns meaner and, in my opinion, scarier. Yes, the return to form does have its flaws with the lackluster score and the sketchy mask. But, if I'm being honest, this film really does manage to raise the bar in many other ways. Okay guys, that has been my review of Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. What do you think of Halloween 4? Let me know down in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see my review of Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and more importantly, my next review, Insidious, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That way you get notified about all of my future content. Guys, it feels so great to be doing movie reviews again. I'm sorry I made you wait so long. I actually gave you guys a TV show review not too long ago for Supernatural episode 1 season 1. I'm planning on reviewing every single episode, 287 episodes. It's a big thing. So if you want to go over there and check that out, I would appreciate it. I also want to say a big thank you to everybody that's subscribed to my channel. I'm almost to 600 subs. Guys, I appreciate it so much. Let's get it there. As always, I would appreciate it if you check me out on social media. All those links are in the description box down below. Check me out on Stardust at Cavern of Terror, because that's not there. I keep forgetting to put it. But more importantly, I'm Zach. This has been the Cavern of Terror. Stay metal, my friends.